Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Environmental Justice Now. My name is Leah Jones, and I am the Water Justice Organizer and Organizing Coordinator here at Virginia Interfaith Power and Light. Before we get started today, I'd like to do a brief land acknowledgement as usual. While we are on a video call and many of us are joining in from different places, it's important to remind ourselves that we gather on the unceded land of the indigenous peoples. I'm joining in from so-called Richmond, Virginia, and I am currently located on the land of the Powhatan and the Chickahominy peoples. If you are unsure whose land you are on and you would like to learn, you can visit native-land.ca to find out. So good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Thanks for joining us for another episode this week of Environmental Justice Now. This officially marks the second week, or I guess rather the end of the second week of General Assembly, the 2023 General Assembly session. It's been quite a busy week. We really hit the ground running following last week. I don't know about everyone else, but I know for us, especially over here at VIPL, it's been a week full of lobbying. We made our way down to the Pocahontas building to bother our legislators in person, not bother, but share rather our important policies that we're hoping to pass this session. So I do have a few updates for everyone today about the bills that we're leading on, as well as some of the bills that we're supporting and opposing. This, once again, is a call, rather a stream, just for the highlights of the week. As usual, you can always visit our website, our VIPLGA 2023 website, to learn more about the details, to go more into detail and learn more of the weeds around the bills that we are supporting this session, following this session, opposing this session. So please be sure to remember that as a resource. And now I'm going to get into our highlights for the week. So back to the bills that we're leading on, as many of you have probably heard already. The first bill that I would like to talk about, or bills rather, that I would like to talk about, are the shutoff bills that we're leading on and supporting this session. HB 2283, sponsored by Delegate Shin. This bill has not been up to committee yet, but we do believe that it is coming up in the House Commerce and Energy Subcommittee number 1 very soon as this upcoming Tuesday, to be heard and voted on. So please be on the lookout for our action alerts and visit the resources I just shared with you all to do your best and advocate with us, share with our legislators how much we need, how much Virginia needs utility shutoff protections, especially for our most vulnerable neighbors. So in addition to HB 2283, the matching companion bill in the Senate, SB 1447, sponsored by Delegate Edwards, we believe that bill is coming up even sooner. So the House bill, we believe, is coming up on Tuesday in the committee. And we believe that this bill in the Senate, SB 1447, could be up in committee as soon as this upcoming Monday in the Committee on Commerce and Labor. So both of our bills are coming to the docket very soon, very shortly. And this is the time where we need our most support. Please submit comments if you can. Please sign up to testify if you can, especially if you know personally of anyone in your community who has been impacted by utility shutoffs. It is critical that our legislators know that this is, in fact, a pressing problem for Virginia residents, especially our most vulnerable community members, like those in EJ communities, our low-income communities, rural communities, Black and Brown communities. This is all very pressing. So we need our support. Monday and Tuesday are big days for our utility shutoffs bills, and we hope that you all can support us. We're keeping things hopeful that we can keep progressing the bills forward and make it to crossover. So in addition to our utility shutoffs bills, we are also leading on our healthy community strategies bill. It's a comprehensive planning bill that we were able to talk about last week. Share a little bit more about what exactly that bill does. It's HB 1798, and this bill is sponsored by Delegate Simons. It also has a matching companion bill in the Senate that's sponsored by Senator McClellan. However, an update on this bill, this comprehensive healthy community strategy bill in the House, specifically HB 1798. A quick update on that. It actually was up in committee just this morning at 7:30, bright and early. And unfortunately, this bill did die in that committee. It was in the House Counties, Cities, and Towns Subcommittee number 1 committee. So unfortunately, it did not pass. But the good news is that the Senate bill, the matching companion bill in the Senate, is still alive and has not yet been heard. So we are expecting that bill to also be up on Monday. In addition to our shutoffs bill that I just mentioned a few moments ago, we do believe that this comprehensive planning bill in the Senate, SB 1322, could in fact be up on the docket this upcoming Monday in the same committee, Senate Commerce and Labor. So please, once again, same as our utility shutoffs bill, please be on the lookout for our action alerts and ways that you can yourself use your voice to advocate, submit comments, tweet your legislators, engage with them, let them know that you also support this Healthy Communities Comprehensive Planning Strategies bill up in the Senate. So once again, I know this is a lot of information, but please remember that the resources are always available for you to check out and get a better understanding of the actual bills themselves, and easy ways to communicate with your legislators. So moving forward, those are the bills that we are leading on. I'd like to move forward on to talk about some of the other bills that we've been on the lookout for and have noticed this past week, some updates with those. Of course, as usual, we are supporting a long list of other bills. However, I will not take the time to show them here because we want to keep things brief on this stream, on this update, on these updating videos, because a lot of times GA is just quite the information whirlwind, right? Lots of information flying around. So we want to try our best to keep things as brief as possible and showing you all at the forefront on these calls the highlights, as I mentioned earlier. So the bills, there are other bills that we are supporting that I'm not mentioning here. Once again, you can always check those out on our GA 2023 webpage, where you'll find that the longer list, or rather the full list of the bills that we're supporting this session. So back to the bills that we were on the lookout for this week specifically, that were up in committee. A few updates. The RGGI and Community Flood Preparedness Fund, the bill that was repealing the Clean Energy and Community Flood Preparedness Act specifically. We mentioned it last week on our update. It's SB 1001. This bill has not been heard yet. It hasn't gone up to committee yet, but it was referred to the Senate Committee of Agriculture, Conservation, and Natural Resources. And there's a possibility that this bill could be up next Tuesday. This is a big deal. We want to make sure that we can continue to remain in RGGI and prioritizing RGGI as something that's been so beneficial to the Commonwealth, and specifically some of our most vulnerable community members. So it's imperative that we do our best to show how much we oppose this bill going through, The bill specifically, like once again, is repealing the Clean Energy and Community Flood Preparedness Act, and specifically directs the director of the Department of Environmental Quality to take all steps necessary to suspend the Commonwealth's participation in the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, also known as RGGI. Because if you can't tell, Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative is quite the mouthful. So I know there's been a lot of back and forth about RGGI over the past year in 2022. So it's imperative that we do our best to continue to speak out and show our support for RGGI, and show our legislators that we do not want to repeal this act. We don't want to step out of RGGI and go backwards. RGGI has been great for Virginians. So we want to make sure that our legislators know that. Another update is that we have a bit of bad news to share. There is a bill that we are opposing that did pass in the House, and actually has already been assigned a committee in the Senate as well. The bill is, excuse me, the bill is HB 1430. It's sponsored by Delegate Ware. So this bill is addressing the energy-intensive trade exposed industries, this pilot program for eligible customer exemptions. The reason why we were opposing this bill is because it goes against the Virginia Clean Economy Act. Once again, a very important progress that we have already made with the Virginia Clean Economy Act that we're hoping to not go against, and maintain, right? Defend the progress that we have made thus far. So the bad news is that bill did pass in the House, and it looks like it's already been assigned to a committee in the Senate. That committee is the Committee on Commerce and Labor as well. So once again, be on the lookout for that bill. It is in the Senate. I'm not sure exactly when it will be coming up. I want to say after crossover, but I don't want to say anything for certain. But please be on the lookout for that bill, HB 1430. So that's the bad news. Luckily, that's all the bad news that we have to share with you all today. But the good news that I would like to leave everyone with is that we did defeat a few bills that were repealing clean car standards, specifically this bill SB 779, sponsored by Senator Stewart. It repealed the requirement of the State Air Pollution Control Board to implement low emissions and zero emissions vehicle program for motor vehicles with a model year of 2025 and later. So this bill, we were able to defeat it. Great news. Just earlier this week, we were able to do so. And I think that's a great win for us, considering that it helps us move forward to our clean car standards, move forward our clean car standards, as well as contribute to our efforts of reducing our overall carbon emissions and moving to more obviously cleaner forms of transit. So that is the great news. We did make some progress defeating some bad bills. There are a couple of bad bills that are upcoming to be on the lookout for. And last point that I just want to highlight again is that both of our bills, that VIPL are leading our support on, our utility shutoffs bill and bills, and our comprehensive planning bill in the Senate are up early next week. So this is your opportunity to support us in your advocacy with your legislators. Rally your troops, rally your supporters. Share with them the importance of these bills. Write LTEs, write op-eds. We actually were able to just get an op-ed passed for our utility shutoff bills, specifically the bill sponsored by Delegate Shin just today in the Virginia Mercury. So it's a perfect opportunity to write more LTEs in support of the shut-off bills. And yes, thank you. You can view it here and check it out in the comments if you haven't seen it yet. We're hoping that you all can show your support for our shut-off bills as well as our comprehensive planning bill coming up in the Senate. I think today that's all the updates that we do have. And I will begin to close out now and just say that for everyone who has already been lobbying and writing LTEs showing their support, major shout out to you all. It doesn't go unnoticed. It doesn't go unappreciated. Just when we were in the Pocahontas building this past week, it was a whirlwind filled with people speaking up for what they want in their communities. So if you've already been doing that, hats off to you, and hats off and many thanks to anyone who has showed up this past week for our event with Virginia Interfaith Center for Public Policy, Days for All People. It was great seeing everyone, and we hope you learned something. The last tidbit of information I would like to share with everyone, if you would like to stay in the know on GA, what the bills that we're following this session, the updates in a bit more detail than we go into on this live stream. We do have a GA action call of the week. It's short, it's brief, 30 minutes, about 30 minutes or so for everyone to hop on and take action right at the start of the week. At 6:30 every Monday. You can register to join at this link here, as well as by visiting our GA 2023 page on the VIPO website. Please be sure to check that out as well if you would like to continue advocating with us. Thanks again, everyone, and we will see you all for the updates next week. As usual, keep up with us by joining on to our supporters list, where you can read more about other events we have going on in addition to everything GA. So please be on the lookout for all of those things, and we hope to see you all in the coming days and weeks. Thanks to everyone. Once again, happy Friday. We'll see you next week. Bye.